Hello, hello.
I hear you.
There we go. How you doing?
Doing good.
Beautiful. I'm doing great myself. You want to get right into it?
Yeah, we can get right to into it.
Hell yes. All right, let me look at my email because you sent me the basic premise of our discussion right here at the very beginning. 3 things that are true beyond a reasonable doubt. The actual impact of woke scolding is very minimal at best. The idea that virtue signaling is an attempt to gain social points is a conspiracy theory, and cancel culture is justified. All right, so I guess those are our big 3 points. I'm ready.
Hold on, look, last one, what I'm saying? When I say cancel culture is justified, what I mean is I'm giving a different definition. We can change that by cancel culture because I was talking to re-education about that. We have a clearer understanding what cancel culture is. I'm saying that online harassment and online death threats, those I'm not condoning that. That's not what I'm condoning. If that's cancel culture, I'm not condone. That's not what I claim it is. What it's supposed to be. Okay. We.
Well, what would you
I'm
consider
saying
valid cancel culture then?
no. Okay. I'm saying that using the word cancel culture is an incorrect terminology to the situation that nobody is getting canceled. Their subscription is the only people who can cancel are Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and the government. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that nobody is getting canceled. People are getting harassed online by particular assholes. There is no culture of this. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
All right. So when I say cancel culture, I don't mean necessarily that people are successful in canceling one another. I mean that sometimes when a person does something that like the general group doesn't like, there is an effort not to critique them or to address that problem, but rather to remove them entirely from the internet. It's very rarely successful because random Twitter dipshits don't have the power to dethrone a YouTuber. But I think what's happening right now with ContraPoints is a pretty excellent example of what I would consider a pernicious component of cancel culture. Mainly, that she did something which a lot of people disagree with. In this case, it's the fucking apology video. It's stupid, and it's always been stupid. But a lot of folks disagree with her. But any efforts, at least on the part of many of these people, to actually address those problems or concerns are gone. At this point, it's more about framing Natalie as some sort of white alt-writer, transphobe, transmedicalist who needs to be removed from YouTube right away. And that is
What
something I have an issue with.
what percentage? That's what I think. What percentage would you say of
I
of the audience is of her audience is doing this?
I could not even begin to guess, nor do I know if it's her audience specifically that's saying
One.
it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's so vague. I'm saying 1% to what? Who are these people? Is to me, this is. Hey, are we live right now?
We are live right now, yeah.
Okay. Look, are you familiar with the SJW college campus? Uh, I would say outrage
Yeah,
that
I was the
political correct
SJW college campus
political
outrage.
correctness. Yeah, cancel culture is a evolution of that. Okay, that's how it's being framed.
Well, the SJW
There's a
shit.
small group of people who are getting blamed for some serious shit, in my opinion, way overblown. I view the cancel culture narrative as an attempt to mischaracterize the left as a puritanical mob, completely overblowing the situation. I mean, by astronomical proportions. If I didn't know any better, I would have thought cancel culture was the plague. How it's being described by many on the left, overblowing it. I don't understand
Who's
it.
many on the left when nobody I'm one of the only people that's willing to address the existence of this issue, and I got called out for it and shit on for it for daring to criticize the left. I don't, if there's
I
some
have
plurality
criticized the
of
left as
leftists.
well. I'm
Yeah.
criticizing. I'm saying that no, there are other YouTubers who think just like you on this issue that have talked to in the last couple of days. They have similar opinions to you that you're saying that there's a epidemic of YouTubers who are getting you saying harassed. I'm saying that
Well,
online
yeah.
harassment is a different thing. online harassment is always a thing, has always been a thing on the internet.
No, I agree.
There's
Okay,
no
listen.
acceptable culture. There's no
I
established
agree that
culture.
harassment has always been a thing. It's always been a thing for as long as human beings have existed. However, with that being said, different cultural tendencies can exacerbate those tendencies to harass. So, for example, Bomber guy getting harassed for like being friends with somebody accused of sexual impropriety.
What you mean by harassed? What you mean by harassed? That's what how he got harassed. Explain that to me.
Huge Twitter.
I don't know nothing. Explain to me how this guy got harassed. Come on.
That was meant to be one example of many, but there were huge Twitter threads talking about how Bomber guy was a grifter and how he's a piece of shit for not like sort of kowtowing to the mob and distancing himself from his friend in that respect. Peter Coffin and Angie Speaks had something similar happen to them. Contra is currently literally like depressive alcoholic because of all the shit she's getting online from people who are attempting to cancel her. Essentially, it is harassment, but it's harassment that stems from that desire. I deal with the same shit, but I've mostly weathered it because I was so aggressive in purging these people from my community.
So let me get this straight. You're saying that Bomber guy got harassed because some people made some Twitter threads.
I'm terribly sorry, Internet Tough Guy. Internet Tough Guy, I'm sorry. Does harassment begin and end at like taking shots at you from a car? What the fuck are you talking about? Yes, Twitter threads can absolutely be a form of harassment.
Online death threats.
I never said death threats. Well, wait. For one, yes. Yes. We have received. What the fuck? Nobody is talking about violent attacks. We talked about harassment. And yes, death threats have happened to YouTubers of our size. Yes, that does happen. But nobody was talking about that.
I'm saying that I want, in my opinion, what's happening left. To me, a clear distinction. You know, if I can see one of valid criticism, like can they? Like you saying that people doing a thread, what are they saying in the thread? I'm trying to get more specific, man. You keep going back. What did they say in the thread?
I didn't bring like Twitter threads with me.
I'm saying, I asked you, how is Bomber guy getting harassed?
The Bomber guy thing happened. The Bomber guy thing happened in like 2017. I don't have the biggest memory of what happened there specifically. But if you want to talk about cancel culture and the extent to which it affects the left, ContraPoints is probably the best and most current example. So if you would like to talk about that.
Okay, so the Bomber situation was wrong because you
No. Hey, listen, if you want to go bad faith, buddy, I can bury you in a fucking ditch. If you want to keep this in good faith, we can try at it. I'm telling you that was one example amongst many that I was about to list to you, and you chose the very first one for me to extrapolate upon. That one came from years ago. If you really want me to dig up receipts, I can do it. But if you want to do this conversation in good faith, then how about we reorient to ContraPoints?
I'm in good faith. I'm good faith. Okay, so ContraPoints is what you claim is cancel culture. This is what you claim is cancel culture.
Yeah,
this is what you're saying.
Cancel culture isn't physical threats of violence or death threats. I mean, I guess it can be, but that's not what I'm referring to. And I never mentioned that in my videos on cancel culture.
I watched the video a little, not all of it, but a good chunk of the video you did with ContraPoints.
The one I released a couple days ago? I thought that was a good video.
Yeah. I disagree wholeheartedly with going online and trying to personally hurt the feelings of somebody. I don't really think I personally like to try to humiliate or get out of the realm of disagreeing with ideas. I do. If you want to disagree some ideas, yeah. I mean, me and you are lucky enough to have a channel. I mean, some of these people really want to have a comment. They have a fierce disagreement with a particular ideology. I mean, there's millions of people on the internet from all over the world, different ethnic backgrounds, different cultures. People are going to have disagreements on ideas. I'm saying that what I have talked to a lot of YouTubers, they're saying that essentially this: if I say I'm a musician, I drop 20 albums, and my 21st album is garbage, and people are telling me, well, why you want to go on that album? Why you want? He made 20 really good albums. Why? I'm like, I want to speak my opinion. I disagree with a particular ideology. I mean, or a statement. That's what I'm saying. You need okay, let's say, how did ContraPoints get harassed?
Okay, So really quickly. Okay. So maybe I can talk about my own personal experience with this because that's the thing that I'm going to have the most the best possible understanding of. So as you know, I am a leftist. I'm pretty fucking far left. I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, my channel is dedicated to lefty politics. Edgy as I may be, that's what it's dedicated to.
Yeah,
Now,
Bosch is a socialist, y'all. He is that. I do agree. I'm not saying he is an anti-capitalist. I do agree with this.
I try my best. So following my ban from Twitch and my exile to YouTube, I got a lot of really bad, really sustained harassment on Twitter, on Discord, and over email. A lot of it came from conservatives, but a lot of it, especially on Twitter, came from left-leaning people. And I'm fine with criticism, mind you. And back then I deserved a lot more of it than I do now. That's for damn sure. But one of the big problems I had is that people would mischaracterize my positions, and when I would challenge them on it, we would go back and forth, and the answer they would arrive at every single time was, there's nothing you can really do, just leave the internet. I got that all of the time. I would be told, like, you need to take a break. You need to just get off. We don't really care. We don't want you here. And what I took from that, and I was much smaller at the time than ContraPoints is today, is that sometimes when people don't like what a content creator has to say, but they know that content creator is still at least partially beholden to their opinions, as I am because I'm left-leaning, rather than deal with any criticisms, they can just say they want me off the internet. And they acted that way, and their behavior led to a lot of really fucking bad faith accusations that I'm still dealing with the fallout from. That is what I mean when I talk about cancel culture. It's an unwillingness to deal with good faith engagement as a part of the audience, and rather a willingness to just destroy a person, to call Natalie a trans medicalist when everyone knows that she's not, to call me a transphobe or a racist when any good faith person should know that I'm not. I would consider those aspects of cancel culture, and it is stuff that affects lefty content creators.
They just lying. That's it. They just lying. They lying on your name and ContraPoint's name. People lie on my name on Twitter.
Maybe you're being cancel cultured then.
I don't think that. I told you how I view the situation. Are we trying to scare people, man? Like to me, we're scaring people. Is that when you be around leftists, you got to walk on eggshells. You can't talk about nothing. This is the exact same bullshit that's been spread for over a decade.
Because it's in part true. Because it's true in part. With some groups on the left, there are people who behave really poorly, and it is from that group that the right has extrapolated the college SJW, the Tumblr woke scold. But just because the right has overblown the severity and threat of these groups doesn't mean that they don't actually exist, and it doesn't mean they don't actually hurt us. There are people on the left who are...
They've been overblowing the threat of left-leaning people since the hippie movement, man. This ain't nothing new, man.
Wait, but I'm not talking about the threat of lefty people. I'm talking about a specific group of oversensitive people who are emotionally sensitive and deal poorly with disagreement online, and that leads to them forming social spaces rather than advocacy spaces in the left online, which has a bunch of bad outcomes for advocacy. I care very, very much about the spread of our opinions. I care very much about optics, about delivering ideas, and it's difficult for me to do that when I feel like the front gate of leftism is being guarded by people who have, I think, disproportionate requirements for what it constitutes to be a member of the left.
What percentage?
What percentage what? Like the woke scoldy left? I don't know. Like on Twitter, sometimes it feels like a third of the left. In real life, sometimes it feels like it's almost none. In real life, I have plenty of good conversations. I don't know, but they exist.
Your channel probably would get like with 50 million, 40, 30 some million views. What percentage of what's I'm like, what is the I'm asking you as a threat. I'm trying to what is the threat? How big is it? What is it exactly?
The threat is sufficient enough that right now the largest left-leaning content producer on YouTube and on the history of YouTube is considering quitting her channel and got bullied off of Twitter by these people. I would consider that to be a pretty significant threat. Like, we can bant about percentages all we want, but at the end of the day, if this environment is actively like killing the ability for content creators to engage with their audience, that means it's a problem.
I mean,
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Someone in chat just said something that makes me want to fucking kill myself. I love you, Vosh, but the discussion about cancel culture needs to stop. It only propagates an enemy. Meanwhile, you're doing work for them. No, Ulf, you're doing their work for them by pretending it's not an actual issue. How fucking myopic and brain dead do you have to be levied with different variations of the same accusation over decades, being told the exact same group of people leads to problems within the left for the exact same reason? Literally millions of fucking people across the world thinking the left is constituted but nothing but red-haired fucking college woke scolds, and you see that the plurality of accusations levied against our movement, and you think, oh, there's no grain of truth here, there's nothing to deal with here. To even acknowledge the existence of this problem is just to reinforce the propaganda the enemy delivers against us. No, stop that. Don't.
I never said that.
No, it's an audience. No, an audience member, and I'm done, and I'm cool, and I love you, Uli. Okay, there we go.
Well, my opinion on the situation is I assume kind of like that one, because this is what I would say the whole situation is, right? I have statistical data to back this up. There's evidence, large amounts, observation, billionaires who own the corporate media, think tanks, Koch brothers, people who fund Dave Rubin. They have been for over the 50 years since the Southern strategy, since the Civil Rights Movement, has been perpetuating this narrative that left-leaning people are this oversensitive crowd you can't say nothing against. This is nothing new.
This isn't an argument against the legitimacy of the accusation.
But I say no. This is what I'm saying, that the actual people they're talking about is very minimal at best. I mean, that is not the reason that you're gonna tell me this. This is what you're telling me. It's such a that when people approach leftism, this is something they have to worry about. I'm saying, like, we gotta be scared of this.
I personally have experienced poor treatment even before I had a channel from leftists while I was a leftist because I didn't meet.
Is it supposed to be 100% good? I'm not saying that. What it like? Can somebody come on Twitter and say, I don't like Vosh? Fuck him.
I'm not talking about saying they don't like me. That's not cancel culture. I'm saying people who are actually trying to get me off the internet or are trying to lie about my positions to the extent that I'm no longer capable of participating in the social space. I personally have experienced stuff like this.
I'm saying people lie.
Yes, and sometimes that line can be called something. Yes.
Some people are pieces of shit.
You realize when you say stuff like Dave Rubin and all the other right-leaning grifters, when they say the same stuff about like the left, that means we shouldn't believe it because they've been saying it for decades. This is exactly like when the right says, racism is just a buzzword the left throws at anyone they don't like. It doesn't mean anything anymore. It's the exact same logic. Just because an accusation is levied at you,
data to back this up, not this one. Because I keep asking you what's the percentage, you ain't got none. I'm asking you how many people, what it looks like. Explain to me how they harass you. What did they say? And you telling me it's harassment. All I got so far is that on your, I'm not talking the country points, on you though, is people with lying on your name. How many people? With 10, 20 out of what?
What
100,000?
This is not how you assess the severity of a problem. I'm sorry, how many racist white people are there? How many racist white people have you seen on Twitter? Can you count the numbers? Can you give me a percentage? I meet plenty of non-racist white people on Twitter. In fact, I've talked to a non-racist white person just today. How can you possibly say that racism is a problem amongst white people if you don't have specific percentages on how many white people are racist? This is ridiculous. Listen, the largest content creator in BreadTube is currently being harassed off of her fucking channel because of people like this. I have experienced it. Peter Coffin experienced it. Angie Speaks experienced it. Fucking Lindsay Ellis and Philosophy Tube both felt they had to make public statements because there were so many people demanding they disavow ContraPoints for ContraPoints, including Buck Angels in a 12-second spoken segment in her opulence video. Like, this is an actual issue, and anyone on the left who would pretend it's not has either not experienced it or has a monetary issue in pretending it's not a problem. It's ridiculous to me. Why can't we just be honest about the fact that this is an issue?
I got a monetary issue for saying this.
Or you haven't experienced it.
For a while. I've been thinking it for a while. This is not nothing new. It's the exact evolution of the college campus thing. I was on college, didn't see it. I mean, I look up the numbers. The data proves this is very minuscule at best. This is just a way to scare people away from leftists. I'm sorry.
Do you have numbers on the number of woke scolds on Twitter?
I'm assuming it's a lot.
Okay. I have a really important question.
Who's
okay, wait. Hold on. How much do you know about Gamergate? Do you know about Gamergate?
Yeah, I know about Gamergate.
Okay.
Anita Sarkeesian.
Okay, you know how a bunch of female journalists and game critics and game reviewers got harassed off the internet, doxxed, had to move, had to file police reports to avoid getting swatted?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
how many members of Gamergate, which constituted millions of people who were interested in that movement, how many of them do you think were actually the ones doing the swatting, doing the doxing, doing the online harassment? Because I would willing to bet it was probably a pretty small percentage, but
Yeah.
that percentage was small enough to still cause problems with who it needed to cause problems for. That's what I'm saying with the cancel culture woke scoldy types. I don't think the whole left is full of crazy SJWs. I think there was a small and extremely vocal minority that we're too scared to talk about because this minority is A, largely constituted of marginalized groups, and B, their behavior kind of hits upon propaganda that the right has been spreading for a long time. So we ignore them and they continue to cause problems. Are we practicing? Is this theater play?
No, I'm asking. You said they largely for marginalized groups. I'm trying to. I'm understanding you. Okay, as you going, and I just to me, you said we're ignoring it. I mean, let's give me some. So you proven to cancel culture that because ContraPoints is having is being harassed, a transgender person in today's America. Some of the people who mostly harass that proves that there's this not massive, there's this strong sense of fear that you should be worried when you be in leftist circles. Hey, when you come to the leftist circle, worry about the cancel culture. It's right, you know what I'm saying? It's right around the corner,
listen,
y'all.
it is a problem. I don't know what circles online you deal with. Almost everyone I've ever spoken to in my community agrees with me in that there are elements of the online left social spaces that are extremely toxic and hostile to outsiders, that have extremely high proposed moral requirements for participating there, that are sensitive and fragile, and you do have to step on eggshells to get around them. Yes, I believe these people exist.
Like
it's
I
a real
said,
problem.
the political correctness narrative of white supremacy being spread, that straight white males have a hard time speaking. That's not what we saying it is. But when I'm listening to it, it sounds
Then why don't you listen to what I'm saying? Because I was very clear in my position. I am not reinforcing the right-wing grift here.
What circles? No, I'm saying what you saying now. You off the ContraPoints, because I'm making this clear, y'all. I don't agree with harassment. If you come online, understand that they are shitheads. These are not representative of no culture. No culture.
It doesn't matter if you say that and then you ignore the cultural trends that abet that harassment. I don't care about your phony virtue signaling. Oh, harassment is bad. By the way, there's no such thing as woke scolding or cancel culture.
I do virtue signal, Vash. I am a very compassionate person. I'm a humanist. I care about people. I do virtue signal a lot. I mean, there's nothing wrong with virtue signaling.
I think virtue signaling implies
vague word.
I think that virtue signaling implies dishonesty. When I talk about my support of trans people, I'm usually doing it to actually sort of validate my political sort of framework. When people like Blair White or whatever talk about their support of trans people, it's virtue signaling. It's a way of hiding their actual morals.
All these people protesting the street all over around the country, the most ever in 50, 60 years, you're talking about virtue signaling. When you hear the word virtue signaling, you largely think of dishonesty. What are you talking about? Virtue signaling. There's nothing wrong with that. I claiming that I have compassionate feelings.
I don't have a problem with you being compassionate. I have a problem because you're lying.
The narrative.
You say you care about harassment, but you say you care about harassment, but every time I tell you that I just told you there's a problem on the left that's affecting some of its largest creators, and you're like, oh yeah, death threats. Oh yeah, death threats, physical violence. Oh whatever. What's harassment? Is a Twitter thread harassment? You said it. Is a Twitter thread harassment? You can't say you care about harassment when you just spent 20 minutes abetting and downplaying the severity of harassment online. You can't do that. You don't give a fuck about harassment, dude.
I tell my audience, anybody watch, do not harass anybody.
I know lots of alt-writers who say the same thing. Yeah, no, totally. I know lots of alt-writers who say the same thing. It doesn't matter. What matters is your actual values.
But if you don't really like what somebody got to say, you have every fucking right to say it. Your input is needed. You see something, you have a strong opinion on it, say it. Start a Twitter thread. Start a group. I don't care what you do. Us as artists, when we put art out, people, some people gonna feel a certain kind of way of it. And if that happens, if you want to, don't lie on nobody. That's just why are you doing? That's just being a shitty person. But these shitty people who do exist, I, I, I would say block them. Get them out your group. If you have a Discord,
Okay,
get them out.
this is an answer if there's a broader cultural problem on the left, and also people of my size and of ContraPoint size. This is a non-answer. The rumors circulate behind blocks. It doesn't change anything. Like, here's my issue. Like, okay, wait, really quickly, yes or no? Do you believe that there are issues within the left that, if addressed, could make us more appealing to non-leftists without compromising our principles? Like, I'm not saying, like, let's go be racist or whatever.
Me personally, yeah, I think as the country becomes more diverse, which is just going to happen, yeah, intersectionality is going to be the thing. How to appeal to non-leftists, depending on what group they are. I mean, that's what you would modify the recruitment strategy according to which demographic group you're going after.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely.
South, if you're going after what, West Coast, East Coast, what housing projects, where are you going?
I completely agree that we need to restructure ourselves to better adapt to the interests and appeal to certain groups of people. And my argument, broadly speaking, is that the left has done a great job of alienating a huge swath of the population online. I'm speaking mostly about the online left, which is still a very large group of people, because our internal social spaces are toxic to people who aren't already leftists. There are a lot of people with very bad attitudes who treat the left like a social space. Like, everyone who enters it should be able to be friends with them and not as a broader political coalition. We have people who are so obsessed with purity that they actually want to like get ContraPoints off the internet, in spite of all the incredible things that she's done and all the incredible things she might do in the future.
What you mean get off the internet? You say it's people. You saying get off the internet? You saying there are people who are going around like trying to flagging, false flagging her YouTube channel? What you saying? It's a mass flagging campaign?
No, like they'll just shit talk her and try and spread rumors. I'm not saying that they're actually trying to
shit talking, spreading rumors.
This can be very detrimental to an online career.
Huh? So you telling me?
You're downplaying harassment again. You can harass people off the internet, you know.
I'm actually, was it mass flagging? You said no. I said, okay.
It's harassment.
Mass flag.
Harassment. You can harass people off the internet.
Are they not using correct pronouns? Are they?
What about harassment? What about harassment? I don't understand. Have you ever been harassed online in your life?
Of course. White supremacists hit me up in my DMs all the time talking about some boo, call me a monkey and shit like this.
Okay, what about, have you ever been hit up by leftists? Have you ever been harassed by left-leaning people?
Oh yes, they a lot of. I have many beliefs. I'm an atheist. A lot of leftists have told me that I shouldn't speak my atheist beliefs. I don't. Many things I have opinions on drugs. Many things that a lot of leftists will come into my Twitter, YouTube, and say I'm wrong. They disagree with me. They think I'm a bad for it.
Okay. What if a group of, okay, listen here. Let me give you an example that might ring home for me. Okay. What if you were doing? Do you do live streams, or you just do prepared content?
I used to. I'm not no more. I don't feel like doing no more.
All right, it's fucking exhausting. Okay, let's say you're on my live stream or whatever, and we're talking, and you say something that for some reason, if clipped out of context, could sound like you're defending pedophilia. Now, obviously, I'm not saying you don't defend pedophilia, but in a very specific context, when clipped that way and framed dishonestly, somebody could make that argument. And then hundreds or even thousands of left-leaning people on Twitter prop that up and start saying, suck my opinion's a pedophile, suck my opinion's a pedophile. And then from that point forward, for possibly years down the line, that's a stigma, a cross you have to bear against any criticism that may be levied against you. And they're doing it saying you need to go the fuck off the internet. Well, suck my opinion is disgusting. He defends child pornography. He needs to get the fuck off the internet. This is gross. Like, none of these things are flagging or like calling you the N-word. Yeah, but that's how
when it comes
harassment and
up.
lying can get you the fuck off the internet. It's getting close to working with Contra. It doesn't work with me because I came into this hating everyone online, so I was prepared for everything. But
Well, it seems impossible to stop it then. So basically, like I said, I tell people don't lie, don't be doing that. I don't why would you do that? You know, if you don't like their beliefs, if you don't want to watch the channel, don't watch it. If you tell people you don't want to watch it, that's whatever you feel. But I'm telling you, don't be spreading lies and rumors. That's not cool. Trying to ruin somebody's day. That is
well,
not
well,
compassion.
that's
That's
all
not
I'm
compassionate.
that's all
That's
I'm
not
saying. I'm
compassionate
telling
behavior.
people to stop doing that. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
do.
and it ain't no motherfucking cancel culture though. That shit is a overblown narrative to scare
So
people
wait,
away. It's not
so
okay.
you don't
Every time
even
I
have a
say,
problem with the idea. You just have a problem with the name that's been assigned to the idea.
oh yeah, words matter, man. Don't you know that words matter a lot? And
Words,
you
yeah,
say
words
that
do matter, and I think
some
this is a
over.
perfectly, apropos term. The term cancel culture already existed. It applies to social groups trying to disavow and socially ostracize content creators, or even other regular people within their spaces. This is something that already happens. The term is apropos. It fits perfectly to what's happening.
What I would tell anybody, I say anybody, if you're gonna start a YouTube channel and talk about controversial issues, expect try to block them. Block them on Twitter. Don't have an open DM. There's some
This
people
is a
now who gonna
victim
try to really
blaming
ruin your
argument.
day.
Why not try to
What
fix
you?
the
No, I'm
cultural?
not.
This is victim blaming. Why not try to fix the cultural problem?
Cultural problem.
Why not try to
See,
fix the
okay, now,
harassment? Why
okay.
are you telling them to
You
block? This is
saying
like
that
telling a
people?
woman to wear
Okay,
like more like
get the fuck out of
demure
here, man.
clothing so she doesn't get raped. Like why? Why not try to
Get the
fix the
fuck out of
problem?
here, man. You gonna now you're gonna change. You're gonna say I'm trying to say that, man. Like that's like, come on,
But
boss.
that is the
I like it. I
fundamental
like your channel,
logic that you
man.
are engaging in.
Come on, man.
But
Come
that is
on,
the
man. You
logic you no, don't come on, Mammy. That is the logic you are engaging in. You agree that there is a problem, but rather than being willing to address the existence of the problem, you're encouraging people to take steps to prevent them from being harangued by it.
No, I say there's a problem with people who speak controversial issues on the internet in public spaces that people will really get up in arms about this and try to ruin your day. Go do this. That's not indicative of leftist. That's not a leftist trait. That's not no. That's what I'm saying. It's not a leftist thing.
I know it's not a
It's just
leftist thing,
on
but
it's
but
internet.
we can fix the left because we're in the left. I can't fix the right. I'm not in that social space, nor would I care to. It's garbage fire anyway. But I can help fix the left.
Let's move it forward. You sit now. I'm saying that the biggest thing that is keeping the left from moving forward is the lies about us. Saying that we are this puritanical mob, that we are this people will just jump you. You have to always worry what you say. And it's like I live in Alabama, Andor evidence, but the main people I know, right wingers, are these people who they're describing. Leftist people I have met are some of those open people. Leftist circles are diverse. You can't be, it's no way somebody could be this puritanical, this have everybody from every background there. It couldn't happen.
You can be if diversity is one of the criteria of your puritanical like moral system. That is absolutely possible, yes. So it would be possible, for example.
Let's talk about these marginalized groups of people. Let's talk about these marginalized groups of people that know everybody afraid to talk about, who's making it so difficult.
I'm not saying it's the marginalized groups of people themselves. I'm saying
who
that
mostly come from marginalized people.
Yes. The groups of people, in my personal subjective experience, when I see people online who are engaging in the tendencies which I consider to be bad in the ways I've described before, they are typically, or at least disproportionately, trans or non-binary. I've explained why I believe that in the past. I think it's probably a unique combination of prior social ostracization and a reflexive desire to cultivate your social space carefully to avoid getting hurt in the future. And I sympathize with and I respect both of those tendencies. However, just because I understand the reasons why somebody is doing something harmful doesn't mean I can allow them to do it.
Okay. Vosh, I'm gonna ask you this. This basically, do you really believe? Do you believe this? Something you would stand on? Do you believe the left is overly emotional, dramatic, unable to have civil conversation? Do you see that as a epidemic? Do you see it?
By my standard, yes, because I hold myself to a very high standard. Yeah, no, definitely. The right does it too, mind you, but I like it when they do it because it hurts them. But I think the left does it too much as well. Yeah.
That's how you would describe the left, as an over dramatic, emotional train wreck. That's how you would describe the
I
left.
wouldn't describe them that obliquely. I would say that there are elements within the left that I believe are oversensitive and that hurts our optics. But I would never say like the left as a whole. And I'm referring to the online left too. In person, people tend to be a lot more hardy and resilient.
Okay, let's talk about this word virtue signaling. One of my pet peeves, one of the words I hate. Virtue signaling, identity politics, cancel culture, woke school. We can talk about these words, these words, these little sound bites that
I feel like a lot of people get really upset
PC
with
police,
with
PC
the words
police
themselves. A lot of people get really upset with the words themselves, but they don't feel comfortable grappling with the actual topics of discussion, which is really frustrating to me. You basically conceded.
That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do right there. You asked to describe my approach to the situation. Because these words are vague and everybody virtue signals. Everybody expresses.
I agree. I agree with that. Everyone does virtue signal to an extent. Okay, so listen.
It's no point even saying the word. It's to delegitimize protests, in my opinion.
I've never in my life accused protesters of virtue signaling. That's the opposite of virtue signaling.
I don't think you do. I think the word is, these words are woke school.
Well, words are tools that can be used in a wide variety of ways. Look, for virtue signaling, here's my opinion on it, okay? It's possible to very publicly advocate for something, and you're doing it kind of disingenuously because you're trying to get social cred within that space. Let me give you an example.
What's social cred? What's the social cred you talking about? What you receive
in online spaces on the left. Typically, the amount of respect you cultivate within a community correlates at least partially with how progressive you are and how leftist you are. So lefties like myself, like real socialists, will shit on suck dems, even though suck dems are still pretty far in the left compared to the majority of Americans. And then far like post-left anarcho whateverists will shit on us or what have you. Likewise, people who just believe that like racism and sexism are bad get shit on by people who believe that racism and sexism are bad, but also integrally intertwined into every mote of American society. And those people get shit on by there's a constant tier, like a fountain of shit, where only the purest person remains at the end. They're the ones that accumulate the social capital. And it's one of the reasons why people do so much dumb shit online, like say shit like ooh trans rights, and then later logs come out showing that they're like a huge fucking grifting piece of shit. Or they'll be like we need to address like inequality in the racial sphere, and then like it turns out if you look further into what they've done in the past, they're like racist as shit, or like they don't think that like dating black people is cool or whatever. They do that. Politicians virtue signal constantly. Yeah. It's like a form of grifting, but everyone does it to some extent, right? Everyone does this to some extent.
But the woke school, if you're looking at the right and left paradigm in America, the woke school is only going to be used to demonize one group of people, people who express more socially progressive tendencies. So woke scolding can only be a derogatory word for people on the left. It doesn't work for right. That's why the right says it too. That's why the right likes the word. That's why recently I seen the video of Obama going off about woke culture. It's because we know who we talking about. It's a word that can only be used. And I say, why are leftists using this word? Just call them obnoxious assholes, douchebags. I mean, we have words for this that do not paint the left as wrong.
The right woke scolds all the time, but you're right. The term's only ever.
What the fuck? Woke? Being woke is okay. Being woke is good.
No, stop. Stop. Words mean things. Woke scold doesn't mean like it's bad to be woke. Okay, I'm not saying that. The right does it all the time. Right woke scolds will like attack one another for like not believing in the Jewish question or not believing severely enough in the inability for black and white people to live together. I've seen these things happen. That's woke scolding. It's the same thing. To them, woke means racial separatism. That's their woke. For us, it means other things, progressivism, what have you. Woke scolding it doesn't mean like it's bad to be woke. It's good to be progressive. You know I'm progressive. I don't chastise people for being progressive.
That's why I'm wondering why you saying this terminology. Like you could just say it's fucking obnoxious douchebag
Because
grifters
it's more because
amongst
obnoxious
our
douchebags
preference.
describes everyone. Why would I use such vague language? Woke scold means something pretty specific. It's
They
people who
are.
will scold other people. So scold, it has a specific connotation. Scold is something a parent does to a child or a teacher to a
Yeah.
student. It implies paternalization. It implies talking
Yeah.
down. It's not woke argue or woke disagree. It's woke
Something
scold.
to be feared.
So
Like
well,
something to be feared correctly. You know,
well,
that's what I'm saying. It's a fear tactic. Like they're gonna woke scold you, y'all. Us that's everybody get your defenses up. They're gonna woke scold you.
that's what it,
Things like this.
That's what it means, woke scold. So people who will who will scold other people for not meeting their like arbitrary personal standard for ideal progressive thought. And the scolding is the issue there. Because if you want people to change their opinions, you don't scold them. You slowly introduce them to concepts and put them in spaces where they feel comfortable like pushing out of their political boundaries. That's how all people work. Like every single person. Nobody's mind has ever been changed by scolding. But there are a lot of people online who fucking scold like crazy.
That's your opinion. That's your opinion. Somebody might need to get scolded. I don't. That's just your opinion.
I mean, I'm
It's a
pretty
diverse.
good at optics and outreach. And rhetoric. I'm pretty confident
Not
the
to every.
scolding
I
is a
don't know
bad
everybody.
way.
It's tens of hundreds of millions of people on the internet from all around the world. There are different tactics for everybody. Somebody might need to be scolded. It might help them see,
Okay,
like,
to be
man,
more
wow, I'm
specific,
wrong.
in the vast majority of instances where scolding is applied, it is not an effective strategy. Statistically speaking, scolding is a bad way to change people's political opinions. In practice, what it tends to do is exclude people from those political spaces. I know because this happened to me. Thankfully, because I'm pretty strong in terms of my principles, I didn't go back to being a right-leaning person, but it was nonetheless extremely frustrating for me to see
How
people.
you gonna go back to a right wing? So that, yeah, okay. Let's also talk about as somehow you own. So this is what you're saying. There are people who come on Twitter. There's a demographic of people come on Twitter and YouTube, and they will be leftists. They will be anti-capitalist for trans rights, all these socially progressive policies, and somehow they will go to ethnic genocide policies because they got woke scolded. Like,
Okay, well,
is this happening?
For one, it does actually happen. Yes, it does happen. And the fact that it happens means it's something that has to be discussed.
What? You know, these some silly people, man.
Yeah, they're silly, they're silly, but they vote. Just because people are silly doesn't mean we can ignore them. We need every hand on deck.
We gotta walk around. I'm saying, yeah, bring them. I also, you can use this woke scolding rhetoric and virtue signaling rhetoric to pull in the right wingers, like who on the fence or whatever.
Yeah,
to bring
and
them
I do
in.
to great effect.
And then bait and switch thing. That's all bullshit, y'all. That's bullshit. I got you in by thinking that's right, but that's all bullshit. The left, we trying to get you better wages. We the correct ones. Like we're no.
That doesn't work. That doesn't work for them. They don't think you're the correct ones. They think we people, us leftists, are the unfun, moral Puritans who hate men, who hate white people, who are bitter and desire revenge against these groups. This is millions of people believe this.
I live in Alabama. I know a lot of them.
Yeah, we can't ignore these people. Just because they're fucking stupid, which they are, we can't ignore them. They're a portion of the population so large Trump got voted into office. They're a portion of the population we could reach if we wanted to.
We have to go after other things. That's okay. Next, move to my topic.
There are hundreds of millions of them. What else could possibly be more important than bringing in more people from the right?
I'm asking. No, I'm explaining. They are not the majority. Because white evangelical Christians are not the majority. By 25% of the population. 20.
They're literally. We're literally talking about
hundreds of millions.
Yeah, we're literally talking about hundreds of millions of people.
Yeah, the entire South, North Dakotas, I understand what you're saying. But to me, to tackle that issue, you're going to have to go after billionaire corporate-owned media, or the fact that religion doesn't have to pay taxes. They can donate money to politicians.
I can't fix corporate media. I can make a YouTube channel where I show conservatives and center-leaning people that you can be a leftist without being a fuddy-duddy or whatever. That you can be a leftist and still have a sense of humor and still be jovial and edgy and make edgy jokes sometimes. There are people. It's crazy. Listen, people don't give a fuck about politics. All people care about is their own feelings. And for most people, the thing they want to feel is general sense of contentment and and freedom to do what it is they want. And maybe like if they have some personal problems in their life, they want people to be able to sort that out. And for a lot of people, when they see the left, they see a group of moral Puritans who don't want to let them tell jokes. And I want to show them
a certain demographic. I know conservative, Republican, based, right-leaning people. They think this because living in Alabama, talking about trans right, marijuana legalization, you're going to be seen as insane. Talking about gay marriage and stuff like that. They just banned abortion in Alabama. I'm trying to let you know how to the right these people are.
Well, these people are going to Nazis all the time.
These people, I understand. So they're going to think everything is woke scolding. So I don't see no.
They do. They don't think I'm woke scolding. There are a lot of people who are like, "Oh wow, Vosh, edgy leftist. This one tells it like it is." And then 2 months later,
I say bait and switch. Yeah, bait and switch.
Yes, I know it is a bait, but that's the thing. I'm honest about my positions. Forthcoming. I'm open on my channel. I'll be like, "Hey, I'm far left. I want to bring people over from the right. I'm a legitimate way of being a leftist." But I can't do that when every time I complain about problems on the left that exist and that ostracize these people, people like you come forward and say they're not real issues and that I'm exacerbating far-right propaganda.
I mean, I understand. Like, I work with, like, they talk to. They tell me the biggest problem is that you can't, like, there is no speech, no free speech on campuses. Christian white males can't speak anymore, and it's like these people. It's like if you saying that we got to change. You claim that they're going to think the level of woke schooling. They're going to think. I don't think a left that is multiracial. They can talk to you, but tell them, man, that not it's because if I'm coming in saying black people monkeys, Hispanic people are this and this like this, somebody gonna tell me that's wrong. Like, can we tell them it's wrong? Is that woke scolding? Bullshit, man.
Well, I know. Like, I don't think it's woke scolding to say that black people aren't monkeys. It might be interpreted that way to some people. No, what you're arguing against right now is the capacity to change people's minds. You might as well throw the towel in.
Well, I didn't. I said that the more independent media we have, the more YouTube creators counteracting this narrative and CNN and Fox News that the left Antifa are wild and crazy. Have some Antifa YouTubers. That's what I'm doing. I'm a black socialist YouTube Alabama with a Southern drawl to show that they're socialists in Alabama. I think we should do things like that, have more channels, not necessarily police ourselves because I think to really, it's because you got churches saying it. You up against billionaire things. It's us talking about woke schooling gonna get a few people, but I do think to get our eyes on the prize, more independent media, start a magazine, run for office.
I don't disagree with any of this, but we can also do things within the left to address problems that are so severe that they're causing nonstop drama within our community and literally forcing our largest content creators off the fucking internet. Like, I don't know. I genuinely don't understand how you can believe that's not an issue with how bad things are at right now. Like, there's obviously a problem with how the left acts. We have the capacity to change that. We have the power to change how the left functions. We're large content creators. Well, I mean, we're not ContraPoints large or whatever, but we have the ability to change people's minds. I try to do that. I advocate for compassion and kindness and all the other shit that people who harass ContraPoints don't believe in. I advocate for things that I believe bring about a better left. But I can't do that if when I turn to the people I might be able to convince and say, hey there, look, the left isn't all like that. You turn around and say, nuh-uh, the left isn't like that. There are no problems within the left at all.
Didn't say that.
You literally said like, oh, harassment, everyone gets harassed, just block them. Like, come on, dude.
I didn't know. Let me clarify my position. I want a lot of people hear me. They have been canceling me, quote unquote, canceling me over this, which they just don't like my opinion. But what they have been telling me is that I'm downplaying the significance. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that yes, I am. The situation, the people who are harassing people, that's such a small percentage of the left. I think our problem is not having enough leftist creators, not having more people talking. I don't think I think this reason that's pushing people away, I think it's way smaller than what people say. I don't think that's pushing. I don't really see too much drama, in my opinion.
Okay, if you don't see it, that's fine, and I'm glad.
My view of drama is maybe very different than yours. I just don't see it like that. I don't see drama like that. I don't see it like that. A lot of people have welcomed me. I talked to a lot of people. I got good people hit me comments. My experience I have seen shitheads. There are many shitheads who hit me up saying I'm wrong, you this and that. I don't like you. There's people who said they tell other people not to watch my shit. That shit happens. I don't, but it's so insignificant to the wider picture. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get.
Well, it isn't for everyone, because again, I don't know.
Yeah, some people feel this way. I guess some people really feel that as a problem.
But I'm not even talking about just how ContraPoints feels or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it is entirely possible, though I sincerely doubt it, based on what I've seen on Twitter, that ContraPoints is extremely oversensitive, and she got like 4 messages she didn't like, and now she's crying over it. I don't think that's true. I strongly disagree with that interpretation, but it's conceivable.
Can you have that opinion? I'm asking. Can you have that opinion?
I think if somebody chose to have that opinion, it would be in the face of a fuck ton of contrary evidence, and it would probably mean they're extremely biased or stupid. But my issue here isn't about ContraPoints. My issue here is the broader left and how it ostracizes people who might otherwise be interested in what the left has to say. The fact that my perspective on leftism is sufficient to change people's minds about how the left operates is evidence that if more people on the left acted like me, or at least less like the way they do, that more minds could be changed. I change
minds too, man. Other people change minds too. I've talked to other people who agree with me. I'm not the only one who have this sentiment.
I'm not saying I'm the only one who changes
in leftist circles.
I'm not.
No, I'm saying this.
Okay. Yeah.
It is a monolithic opinion that with what you have of cancel culture that I have talked to a lot of leftist creators the last couple of days that I was unaware of. That people agree with me, but this is a monolithic opinion. This is you are not the only one with this opinion. I'm letting you know a lot do. People who don't like you have this basically the same opinion. This. I personally, I don't see it that way. I see to me, I know that this because it's hard for me to prove. I try to tell conservative white people I work with that no, they're not going to just disrespect you because you're white. You just can't. You can talk around people of color. You can talk around. You can talk about controversial issues. Just be aware what you speak like anywhere. You don't just say anything to your mom. You just don't say anything to your neighbor. You just don't say anything to your coworker. I mean, that's all we saying. If we want to have an intersectionality world, there's going to be controversial issues. There's going to be major disagreements. I
know. All of this is why I made my channel. I like arguing with people, changing people's minds, and engaging with controversial topics. Sometimes I'll engage with topics so controversial, it's just bad optics to do so, because I am so inextricably obsessed with the idea of grounding out my opinions on things people don't typically like to talk about. I know what it's like to get bad feedback for my opinions, okay? But this has nothing to do with the fact that there are portions of the online left that are inhospitable to people who would otherwise be interested. I can give you a perfect example. What about Shoe on Head? Shoe on Head, huge YouTuber. What is it? Over
piece of shit.
Yeah, I
piece of shit, man. I don't fuck with her. I don't. Some people I don't fuck with.
What you're saying right now proves my point.
I cannot like the YouTuber. I don't like the YouTuber. What she has done, the message she has put out for year. Yeah, she has yet to make a significant how you say she has done so much shit, in my opinion, last couple years, has not come out and say, yo, that was wrong, fuck, I'm not with this or this. She has done too much, in my opinion, just like her like that. I don't like her channel.
Okay, I'm aware. Okay, I don't care, and none of that is relevant to what I'm saying. Shoe on Head is a huge YouTuber with a huge audience of mostly center-leaning people. Now, there are right-leaning elements and left-leaning elements in her community, and they duke it out all the time in the comment sections. I see it all the time. But they are unified by Shoe on Head. And what the magic Shoe on Head does to pull this trick, to get these people together, is that Shoe on Head will often discuss political topics in a way which is so, how do you say, inarguable or so sensational that it's difficult for people to substantively argue against it. So, for example, when Shoe on Head will make fun of feminism, she doesn't do this as much anymore, mind you, because she's gone a long way over the past fucking 9 months. But when she makes fun of feminism as a concept, she won't go out there and say that that feminism is a corrupting influence on Western women. It's disgusting and it teaches women to hate men. Instead, she'll make a video on one particularly a loud, aggressive, whiny, screechy feminist woman online who probably did something stupid recently. And she'll make a video on that, and she'll usually be like, guys, listen, feminism itself isn't all that bad. However, and then like do the thing. Now, do I agree with this process? No. I always like it when people are very clear and pointed in their political views. And again, she's walked away from this, but her audience loves it. And the reason why is because when you channel political interest through things as simple as, hey, this person is annoying, or this person is whiny, or this person is obnoxious, it's super easy to get behind it. And that's why it's super easy for people to dismiss the left as it exists right now, because we make very, very little effort to disavow the people who act like that, or to distance ourselves from the communities that act like that. Their politics operate almost exclusively in a disavowal of our character. Even fucking big figures like Steven Crowder will do that shit. They'll paint that that act like the obnoxious, the whiny feminist or whatever, the college campus blue-haired feminist or whatever. They do it because it's so easy to attack us on those positions.
Yeah, when your audience is filled of fucking misogynists. What the fuck? Like,
we have to get them. You can't just abandon them.
I never said this. But this is strange to me. This is very, very strange, Vash. Like I'm confused. All this leniency with Shoe on Head, but you're saying me and people say cancel culture, and we're a person who has been pushing white supremacy the last couple of years. That's hey, well, nah, man, fuck Shoe on Head, man. Fuck Shoe on Head, Hunter Avalon, all of them.
Wait, what inconsistency?
They can change,
what inconsistency in my position have I just demonstrated?
You said that Shoe on Head. I said something. I'm gonna explain to you my interaction with Shoe on Head. I said something about Shoe on Head on Twitter, and for 3-4 days, my Twitter was filled with neo-Nazis. I disagree. Okay.
No. I agree. That's my main problem with her. She doesn't clamp hard in her politics. No,
she's a piece of shit. That's what she is.
Okay, you haven't supplied any arguments to that effect, and I'm not interested in defending her. Milady's honor.
Lauren Southern pushing not the.
I'm not interested in defending Milady's honor here or whatever. I think that Shoe on Head, if continued to move left, would do an excellent job in bringing an enormous number of people over. And I think we have to take it. She has done it for the past 6 to 9 months.
All right, whatever. Okay, that's disagreement. Me personally, not good enough for me. I
don't care what's good enough for you. That's the definition of gatekeeping. No, dude, shut the fuck up. Wait, no. Hold on. If you personally don't like Shoe on Head, that's fucking fine. Whatever. There are plenty of problems I have with her content. But for you to see a huge YouTuber who has been moving over to the left, distinctively disavow past things she's done, talk shit about Nazis and conservatives, moved over and made evident to her audience the progression of her left-leaning politics, for you to look at that and go like, not good enough? Do you have any fucking idea how many thousands of people have probably been moved over because of her decision to move over? Do you have any idea how influential people like that are? It's insane. Her decision to come over even slightly to the left has probably changed the lives of thousands of people. I will never talk down about how impactful. And same with Hunter Avalon.
I'm not seeing it with these people. They're not making a clear distinction for me. I'm not seeing it. You see this? I disagree. They're still fucking grifters, in my opinion. Shoe on Head is a piece of shit. She's been for the last 3-4 years, has never came out and said Lauren Southern, white supremacy is a white placement, not real. She can say some real shit. What's stopping her? She got a YouTube. She can say it today, tomorrow.
Okay,
what's stopping
I'm not
her?
willing to disavow the left-leaning movement of a multi-million YouTube channel because the person who runs it has not disavowed a person that they have stopped talking to. Don't get me wrong. I wish that she had done it with Lauren Southern, but I mean, what is it? What has it been, like 6 months? This is the weirdest. This is exactly what I mean by woke scolding, by the way.
There was very real evidence. She said that black woman looked like a made a joke about like this.
Yes, that was from 2017. You're doing it, my dude. She has specifically multiple times disavowed that previous behavior and moved over on her positions and done videos explicitly endorsing people like Bernie Sanders for racial politics, explicitly endorsed trans rights, explicitly denounced neo-Nazis, a video response to Black Pigeon Speaks, who is now off YouTube. And you're like, not good enough for me. She did too many bad things. Look at this quote from 2017. She hasn't disavowed the Lauren Southern thing yet. This isn't how you change people's minds. This isn't how you bring people over. I have a higher standard
for white supremacy. If you play around some white supremacy, I hold you to a higher standard than this is between me what I'm saying. I hold some other people to a higher standard. If you feel this way about online cancel culture, you better, in my opinion, you come on now. Jordan Peterson the fascist, PewDiePie fascist. It'd be so easy. You don't need all these iconography of their aesthetics for year after year.
Literally all I care about is bringing as many people onto the left as possible. I will do literally anything short of lie to bring that about. If celebrating Shoe on Head's progression, which is only a good thing, she's only moved left, is something that ultimately helps assist the left, then I will do it 100% of the time. And I'll shut the fuck up about my personal problems too until I think it's prescient to bring them up. Because I am a pragmatist, and I believe that we are literally on the cusp of a fascist takeover of this country. And for us to be splitting hairs over the politics of a huge YouTuber who is farther to the left than 90% of Americans strikes me as incredibly counterproductive.
Okay. Me personally, I would say this, and for many others out there who feel this way. If you play around with that white supremacy, the stuff that's finna try to take over America, fucking America up, having mass incarceration, all this shit, you fuck with white supremacy, play around with it, associate with it, propagate it up. I'm gonna hold you to a higher standard until you can change. I've known many YouTubers who change. I've known people who change. But they have made change. They've said, fuck that shit. You know, I'm not with that shit. All right, y'all, I'm with this now. I've talked to many. I agree with this 100%. I do not see it. And I guess if you say you're lying, okay, I agree with you. Yeah, you are lying because that shit ain't happening.
Wait, what am I lying about?
You said that if I have to lie, and
no. I said anything. I said anything but lying. I don't lie. I don't think lying is productive.
Oh, okay.
I'm always honest about my opinions.
All right. Well, if you feel that Hunter Avalon, Blair White, are you saying her too? Or are you saying Sean?
No. Whoa. Fuck Blair White. She's only moved farther right. No, fuck her.
Okay. Yeah.
Hunter Avalon has been. I don't know if Hunter Avalon's been moving leftward, but the last few videos that he's made have been a distinct change of pace that I sincerely respect.
He's a Trump supporter. In an era where we have concentration camps at the border. He doesn't talk about this. He's made a few bad things about ethnic genocide, and that's enough. I mean, hey, if you feel that's really bringing people to socialism,
I don't think he's bringing people to socialism. I think he's bringing people away from Nazism, or at the very least, he's keeping a portion of his audience from going further down that path. Yes.
I think majority of people right now who conservative, I mean, like I watched a little bit of your segment earlier, you said that majority of them don't even the democratic process anymore. So, I mean, if you still associate with them, if that's any confusion to me, like, I mean, that's cool. If that helps people.
What do you mean associate? I want to change their minds. Every person who has made a conservative rather than a Nazi is a victory. Every person who has made a liberal rather than a conservative is a victory. And every person who has made a leftist rather than a liberal is a victory. Every single person, anytime they move any amount left, is a victory to me. And I will always celebrate it, no matter what. If fucking Richard Spencer went out and talked about how he's denouncing white nationalism and how actually fucking neoconservatism is the true way forward for the white race, then I would celebrate that too. Because I do not give a shit. All I want is for people to move further left. And Nazi to neocon is a movement left. As ridiculous a scenario as that particularly would be.
I think we need to be more aggressive in the leftist outreach, in my opinion, more aggressive. I don't think it's even close. I think we see in different ways. You feel that the woke scolding is really pushing away a significant base of people in America from being socialists. I mean, I guess a lot of people have told me they agree with that. I disagree. I don't know what to tell you when like some of the most popular and viewed conservative figures online literally got their start with like the debunking college dipshit
SJW woke scold shit. Ben Shapiro is one of the most well-known conservative pundits like in the history of this country presently.
Yeah.
And he has gotten to that position exclusively through his willingness to take advantage of stereotypes that exist on the left. We can help.
I disagree. No, this is where I disagree. I see another distinction than you to this conclusion. They are tapping into a base of people in America that have for over 100 years always fell for the same exact fucking thing. Is either with the suffrage movement, claiming suffrage movement, a bunch of stupid bitches claiming that the
would it have helped if the suffragists were actually stupid bitches? Would that have made things worse? Maybe.
What you mean?
If the suffragittes were actually stupid bitches, then it
now
probably
they're right.
would.
Okay, so they're right now. They've been wrong. I see. You can. It's so easy to convince the people of this narrative.
No, wait, God, please, God. They have always been right to an extent. There is always a nugget of truth in propaganda. It's how it festers. When you read online, SJW woke scolds left crazy, it feels true because one time you saw a lefty on Twitter act like that. Propaganda reverberates through experience, and I can't do anything about the propaganda. I can't change TPUSA or fucking anything like that. I can't fix Crowder's like whatever schedule or prep he's handed by his billionaire overlords. What I can do is try and structure the left in a way that is as productive and functional as possible, and I think I do a decent job of that. I ask very, very little of people. I ask so little. Be reasonable when you argue, care about optics, and remember, the left is not a social space. It is not there to be your friend. It is a political...
Not a members-only club.
It is a political advocacy space. It is a place where people with similar political interests can join. So if somebody wants to join the left, and they're an edgy fucking white boy who still says the N-word, but they support Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All, fuck that, get them in here. I don't care. We can fix the N-word thing. We can send them further left, because when people are already part of a space, they're probably going to move into whatever the acceptable political position is for that space. By accepting them, we allow them to move further left. We help them in that respect. But if we keep them out of the left, if we say, fuck you, you're problematic, whatever, well, then what happens next is up to them. Maybe they can move left on their own, or maybe they can listen to the multi-million-dollar propaganda network designed specifically to take advantage of those anxieties and that alienation they feel and bring them over to the right. I can't let that happen. We have to let them in.
I do agree with letting them in. I do want them to come in, but
hey, I mean,
they just let them know it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Gonna be a real bumpy ride. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, sure, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. But a lot of people don't believe they should be let in.
A lot of people. Well, I also want to say this. I want to challenge the audience. Look up any social movement in 100 years in America since Eugene Debs. Look how the reactionary right has wrote about them and compared to how they write about college campuses today and how they write about quote unquote woke scholars. And you tell me is there a significant difference? Because I ain't seen it in my opinion.
But I agree. The propaganda hasn't changed, but that doesn't mean we can't do things to fix the way our movement responds to that propaganda.
But so you're saying it's been the same, right? Because they is misogynistic, racist tendencies in the right wing base has been since the founding of America. They can always do this narrative no matter what you do. They call Joe Biden a socialist. I don't. They will always.
No, I agree. They're fucking. No, I agree. They're fucking crazy. I'm not saying that their propaganda is legitimate. I've always said that they accuse the entire left of being like this. They'll say everyone on the left hates white men or some shit like that. Okay, wait. Actually, hold on. I can distill this to a perfect example. Okay, wait. Hold on. Okay, are you aware of the Scum Manifesto?
No.
Okay. This isn't much of a thing anymore, but this was a big fucking meme for a while, okay? The Scum Manifesto was a book published in 1967. It's a radical feminist manifesto that believes essentially that men have ruined the world and women have to fix it. Men have to be removed from all political power, overthrown. They literally have to oppress men. Actually, the Scum Manifesto. And these people, the people who believe in this, have been considered crazies for the entirety of the existence of the movement, 100%. However, whether or not they have been considered crazies, people on the right have always sought to paint the left, feminists, as being man-hating. Now,
Yeah.
so what I don't believe most feminists are man hating. However, don't you agree it would make feminists look a lot worse if they didn't disavow the Scum Manifesto and its followers, even if they were a tiny, tiny minority of the population, and even if doing so might play in to the rhetoric put forward by those propaganda wings?
This sound like, in my opinion, I'm not trying to mischaracterize you. To me, it sounds like whenever there is a gang shooting in LA and Chicago, the black representatives have to come out and say this is bad. I'm just saying, like, I mean, because this will really help your cause. Whenever there's a drunk Native American, hey, we need to disavow the drunk Native American because he's pushing the stereotype they're saying about us. I mean, I'm not.
I mean, I think there's a pretty big difference between feeling as though you have to disavow something because you share their skin color and feeling as though you should disavow something because you're a participant in their political movement and you actively agree with some of their positions. Like earlier when you were saying Twitter threads, how's that harassment? You're pretty much towing the party line when it comes to woke scolding right there. So I would
What you
I
mean
would
woke
consider.
school? Oh, I do woke school. Oh, I do woke school. Watch my channel. I do
No.
woke school. Nothing wrong with that. If you say some fucked up shit, I'm gonna say, man, why you say that? So
But
I
that's not
call
woke
and
scolding. It's okay to criticize people. That's not woke scolding. Woke scolding is when you chastise people for not being left leaning enough. But you do
I
it in a
mean,
paternalistic, derogatory way.
if you're against capitalism, man, I consider you left. I don't.
Well, what about Nas
That's why I draw
polls?
the distinction. That's why I draw the distinction. You know, and if you won't democratize the means of production,
What? Well, okay.
if you
What
accept
about
diversity,
very progressive liberals?
yeah.
Okay, and what about
Oh, I
not?
think that's the main people need to go after. In my opinion, that's the main people to go after. That's my opinion. The main people.
All right, I feel like at this point we've more or less exhausted our conversational options. Can I just ask you this one thing? Do
What's
you
up?
believe there's no point in trying to change how the left operates to appeal to more center or conservative leaning people?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Okay, I just so you know, not only do I find that point of view like counterproductive, I find it kind of fucking disgusting. And if the left
I
ends up
do. I said
dying,
I do.
oh, you
I
wait,
said
you.
I do.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Wait,
I said I
wait, if I
do.
misheard, then
I
I'll hold off
do.
on the speech. Okay, you do. All right, I apologize.
I'm going to make a video and sometime go videos how to convert conservative white people. I just, in my opinion, I'm gonna do a little differently.
No, and
My approach
that's
gonna be a little
good.
different.
We need a plurality of approaches. I agree with that
It's gonna
100%.
be in your face, more and kind of approach. I feel it's rarely said. They always claiming it's said. To me, I don't never hear it.
I think that aggression is warranted when you're going after their public figures, but when you're going after individuals and trying to individually change the mind of people, not people who have an audience, just regular people, I think it's really important to be considerate and to give them a space where they feel comfortable exploring a plurality of political opinions.
I want everybody to always know though. I have no socialist. I'm a socialist. And I have no problem with the other left leaning socialists on that. This is a disagreement I have that I feel that our our approach needs to be more aggressive. They always claiming that we crazy. I don't think we are. I wish we were more energetic, more in your face, sense of urgent talking. I wish it was like that. I think the portrayal of the left as it is now, I kind of wish it was. It was more in your face and stuff like that. I wish it was.
I like energy, don't get me wrong, but if in your face means like going on Twitter and like screaming at people because they like support Trump or whatever, then
Can you do that though? Like I don't
you
like. That's what I'm saying.
can. I
Like
mean, that's your fucking legal First Amendment right if you really want to. I don't know if it's going to change anyone's minds or do anything other than make you feel good, but yeah, if you want to, go for
I
it.
mean, you can. I said let's go after the. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If that's all you can do, you work a lot, 40, 50 hours a week, and all you can do is just you really upset with the Trump administration. You feel this. If you want to say it on Twitter, do it. I'm not denying it. I'm not looking. I don't frown upon it at all. I mean, that's emotion. People are very
I
emotional
don't
animals.
but I don't care if the emotion leads to bad optics for the left, then I don't care, nor do I
I
like it.
mean, that's okay. I think that's what disagreement with me and a lot of you. is that the outreach to the right wingers. You know, I live around them. Maybe I have a bias opinion to them because I listen to what y'all say and I say, man, this is not the experience I've had living in Alabama with these people. These people, all the black people could say we love white people, we respect them, everything. They still say, man, you know, they hate white people. We can say we're not.
Well, no. There are tons of people on the left who will actually say shit like fuck men and fuck white people. And to a lot of these dumb fuck conservatives who can't tell the difference between real oppression and jokes, they're actually going to look at that and think like, yeah, fuck white people, huh? These people actually want to genocide me. We have to genocide them first. I'm not I'm not saying they're not stupid. I'm just saying it's counterproductive.
No, I agree on that. I have talked with other black YouTubers about that. I don't agree you should say that. No, I just because I'm trying to because it's many white liberal white people, all kind of white people. You know, you know what I'm saying. I told them not. I'd be like, yeah, I wouldn't say that. I disagree with that. I don't think that's because it's many white people. I'm talking to a white person right now. So I wouldn't say that. Me personally, we agree on that. I don't think you should say that. Not for conservatives though, just because just white people in general.
Yeah, well, I say I hate conservatives all the time, so that's
conservatives.
That's
conservatives, in my opinion, feel that they're getting really talked down. They've never really been. I mean, the media treats them very nice to all this. I mean, to all the people, they're all conservatives. Media people they have, most of them are neo-Nazis, and the treatment they get to me is pretty good for media. They feel they're being victimized, but
of course, they have a huge jerk-off network perpetuated by the funding of billionaires that are interested in keeping racial status quo. Police, political status. Yeah, no, 100%. No, I completely agree. Look, my principal position is that it's important to reach out to people, and sometimes doing so means we have to reassess how we operate within our own spaces. I think all right. I think we've reached sort of the conclusion. I have to read donos before I get to the next thing. So, do you want to hit us up with final thoughts and plug yourself?
This is why I say last thing. I feel we're going to get more leftist, more liberal, left-leaning liberal people with my approach. I think your approach will get more right because a lot of progressive people, when they hear the word woke scolding, they completely shut off. So that's what I think the disagreement is. I'm trying to get those more people, and you're trying to get right wingers, which that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. Because maybe I can't really talk to right wingers. I try, but they don't really seem receptive to me. So
you're black, and they hate black
and
people.
I have a southern accent, and I talk like I'm from a black neighborhood. So yeah, I can kind of see that. But so I guess I think that's the biggest disagreement we have. Is I'm seeing it now that I'm trying to get more left-leaning liberals, and you're trying to get right-wingers more. So I mean, okay, that's cool. You know, if that's the approach you got to do, you got to talk about woke scolding. If that gets them, well, okay.
All right, listen up. You know what matters most?
What?
It's that I love black people. Okay? Do you love black people?
I love. I wish I had one of my poems with me. I wrote you a poem, man, but I ain't got it with me right now. But
well, we're ready to hear it soon. Okay? Hey, listen. You have yourself a fucking good one. Okay?
If you give me like 5 minutes, I gotta get that poetry.
No, I've gotten a point. I've got an appointment at 3. I gotta get to this.
Why, man? Why, man? Hey, man. Hey. So socialists will win.
Listen, socialism will win. Socialism forever. And also beautiful, multi-ethnic, diverse America.
Yeah, all the way.
All right. Hey, have a good one, man.
All right, man.
All right.